If you've ever read the Quran from cover to cover, you're going to realize that Allah Almighty repeats the same message over and over and over and over and over again in so many different ways and in so many different situations and so many times. Through all of the prophets, through the Old Testament, through the New Testament, and through the Quran, the last testament. Why? Why? Why does Allah Almighty repeat? And all the prophets, all they do is repeat the message to us. They do that so that maybe one day we will get it. Isn't that mercy? Over and over, repetition. Okay, you don't see this way? Okay, let's try it this way. So what is this message doing? What are these messengers doing? They're undoing what Shaitan has done to us to make us to forget and to make us not to understand. They're undoing that. Over and over and over and over again. In every way, shape, and form. Why? Because we could not say we believed in Allah Almighty if we did not understand. So the message is just a reminder over and over and over and over again. Okay, well, let me take you this way. Let me take you by the head. Let me spoon feed you. Let me show you this. Let me send you some punishment. Let me do this. All kinds of ways to get our attention. Allah says, don't you think we're going to be left alone and not be tested? Allah Almighty decided to bring us here. We didn't decide to come here. We're on somebody else's time. This is not our time. This is Allah's time. You don't think it's Allah's time? You look around our parents or our aunts and uncles or our relatives, how they have come here and they left. They're no longer here with us, physically. Don't you think if they could have kept themselves here, they would still be here? Because anyone that lacks understanding definitely don't want to die. They don't understand what was going on. All I know is this. Now all you remember is this. That's not all you know, is this. Because soon as that body is taken, that soul is taken out of this body, it remembers and sees the promise it made to Allah Almighty. But it's too late. It's too late. And that's why Allah Almighty, through our understanding that there is a life hereafter, and now they're having movies out now about hereafter. Finally, people are starting to talk more and more about it because people are indicating when they leave this life, they are doing signs and getting people to think, and all kinds of things are happening. We call it weird, but it's not weird. It's just warnings that people are being reminded that, hey, it's something else after this life. Listen to those who guide us, who ask no reward from us. If you listen and you hear and obey and apply it in your lives, you're going to be a little bit more happier when you come over here. If you're sad and unhappy over there, you're going to be sad and unhappy over here. They make it so simple. You cannot read through the Quran without Allah talking about the next life in this life. You can't read the Old Testament or the New Testament we are really spiritual beings in a physical body. And the power of the physical body is when it gets its orders from the spiritual body that's connected to Allah Almighty. That has the understanding. That have the understanding. We fight our own selves. When Allah Almighty sends guidance to us, you're not rejecting the guide. You're rejecting yourself, your own existence. We are erasing ourselves out of existence. How wise is that? How wise have we become? When Allah says, shut it off, we shut it off. Allah says, remember him, remember him. Because that remembrance is a whole nother kind of reality of, you know what consciousness is? Consciousness is understanding. When you have people say, well, that person has, there's consciousness, and there's subconscious mind, there's a conscious mind, there's a subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind. The reality of a conscious mind is to realize that there is something greater than this world. When Allah says in Quran, if all the oceans were ink, and all the trees were pens, never could you exhaust the wisdom of Allah. Never could you exhaust the understanding. Understanding are oceans of oceans and oceans backed by more oceans. As we come from Allah and we return to Allah, all that is gained in a consciousness which is understanding. Once we understand about ourselves, never can we go against that understanding. Because we understand the harm of going against what we understand. So we rationalize. Where's that rationalization coming from? Who is training us to rationalize against our understanding that Allah, that is Allah Almighty? Well, I don't want to do this. I don't think that I should get married based on that. I mean, I really don't believe in marriage. I mean, long as two people, well, I can get high. As long as we get high after Isha, then, you know, Allah says, don't become with a befogged mind. I can go and get high because, you know, I'm not making prayer. I mean, I can go and do this. At certain times I can do this. That's from Shaitan. That is from Shaitan. And we have become shaitans running to the mosque, running to the synagogue, running in churches. The churches and the mosques and the synagogues mostly are run by devils. Because we're no longer listening to understanding, wisdom. Because we don't apply it in our lives. And our lives reflect that we don't understand. We have become real simple people. Foolish people. And Allah Almighty says we know better. And that's why He just keeps sending warnings to us to remind us that you understand. And if you don't get it together in this life, you ain't going to have it together in the next life. Allah says, don't you come back to me and you come with this worldly mentality, understanding. You don't have the understanding that I sent you in life with. You don't have that understanding. Allah said, don't come back. But we can't stop ourselves from going back. So that means grief. That means punishment. Is that what we're choosing? I think we are. And this is addressed to humanity. Humanity, all humanity made that same oath to Allah.